Welcome everybody to another episode of Rank 'em, where Neil, the franchise, and I, we rank the teams from 30 worst to 1, meaning the best, for the 2016-2017 season of the NBA, guys. And in previous episodes, I'll just rank them out right now. 30, Brooklyn. 29, Philadelphia,
of course.
28, Lakers. 27, Phoenix. 26, New Orleans. And now 25,
Sacramento Kings.
the former most entertaining basketball in the 2000s, the early millennium. And now they went from being the most entertaining millennium team that went to the finals or conference finals with Webber, Jason Williams, and all of them, to now focusing on one over-egoed center, DeMarcus Cousins. Sacramento, you played yourself. This team, I don't know what you guys are doing. I really don't. Last year, you guys really pushed a really good team. You had a good team. And guess what?
This might be one of the worst GMs in the NBA.
The worst GM in the NBA, period. Besides New Orleans, guys.
I mean, Vlad Divac, he was a good player when he was with the Lakers, but he cannot be a good GM at all. So, I'm just saying, DeMarcus Cousins, that's all you have.
And honestly, I think if they really want to better themselves, because I think Willie Cauley-Stein, they really drafted a good center, but he just doesn't get that playing time because you got that over-egoed DeMarcus Cousins. I will keep saying that. Over-egoed DeMarcus Cousins. I don't care what anybody says. People say he's the best center in the NBA. My opinion is, no, he's not. He's not taking his team anywhere. I think Karl Anthony Towns is better. I think Andre Drummond's better. At least.
Now, don't you think that if his team was better, DeMarcus Cousins would be less ego if his team was winning?
Oh, you'd have a bigger ego if he kept winning. But you know what? No, the problem is DeMarcus Cousins is selfish. He doesn't care for anybody. He had the assets last season to make the playoffs. They had Marco Bellinelli, who's actually playing decent because he came off the San Antonio Spurs. Let's see. They had... Who else? They had Rondo. Look at that. They had Rondo, guys.
If you want to go back, they had Isaiah Thomas with DeMarcus Cousins.
They had a bunch of people with DeMarcus Cousins, okay? And even Rudy Gay they still have, okay? They have assets to make the playoffs, but you know what? The problem is DeMarcus Cousins. He doesn't if he does not like what anybody says, you know what? He's just going to express his feelings and then get off the court. How many times did he get kicked off last season? Probably 30 times.
Ejections. How
many ejections did he have? More than 30, probably. And this is why the Kings guys are going nowhere, because they have DeMarcus Cousins. He has an ego like Michael Jordan. But Jordan has a right to have that ego. Kobe has a right to have that ego. Larry Bird has a right to have an ego.
LeBron James
has a right to have an ego. Steph Curry has a right to have an ego. But now, DeMarcus Cousins has no right to have an ego. You're going nowhere, and I think the coach was actually okay. George Karl. He was okay, but the thing is, why he got kicked off? Because DeMarcus Cousins didn't get his way.
They don't even like each other. They were coaching him the whole year. One time George Karl tried to shake his hand on the bench, he just ignored him. Or he did shake his hand, but he avoided his eye contact, let me say that.
You know what? Because DeMarcus Cousins is selfish, he's over-egoed. And this is why I say he's not the best center in the league, like everyone else says. Because he's the only best center because he's selfish. That's why people say that. But you know what? This team, get rid of DeMarcus Cousins. Get yourself another superstar, all-star, and this team can really go in the playoffs. Go pretty far, I believe. Except for offseason. They did really bad.
See, as a player, I'm actually a fan of DeMarcus Cousins because I wouldn't care if he went to Boston.
Not a fan of him. Nope.
If
I was a Boston fan, I'd rather have Al Horford than DeMarcus Cousins.
What if you could have both and put Al Horford, Power Forward?
No. You know why? Because DeMarcus Cousins, he wouldn't fit in Boston. He's selfish. Boston is known as a fundamental, a non-selfish team. They dish the ball to everybody.
So you're saying Brad Stevens can't coach him?
Nope.
Brad Stevens is one of the best coaches.
He is, yeah. Wait, but yes, he is one of the best coaches. But here's the problem. DeMarcus Cousins is the problem. He's too selfish, and this Boston is not a selfish team. Am I right or wrong?
Can DeMarcus Cousins change?
No.
He won't change.
He has a big ego. He won't. And he had a big ego. He was talking about the skills contest, how he was going to win and everything. And guess what? He got knocked off, I think, like first or second round. Okay, but now let's get to this instead of DeMarcus Cousins talk, because I think if they trade him, they can get somebody really better in return that's not selfish, and this team could be back to the old ways. Like that's how they were brought up. All right, but now, guys, they have an Aaron Aflalo, Matt Barnes, Omar Caspi, Willie Cauley-Stein, which I think is a good center if they actually played him, Darren Collison, DeMarcus Cousins, over-egoed, Isaiah Cousins, Rudy Gay, Costa Koufos, and then Ski.
That's one of their first rounders.
Yep, one of their first rounders. I don't know his name. Ty Lawson, Ben McLemore, George Papagiannis, Lamar Patterson,
Malachi Richardson. I
one of his
actually am
favorites.
a fan.
Garrett Temple, and then Anthony Tolliver. Okay, this team, they have some good values. Like, I think Richardson's gonna be like Josh Richardson, sort of. He's gonna be nasty, go off.
Malachi Richardson went off, and he was a freshman in March Madness. He was a freshman, and he went off.
Which I think is a good fit for the Kings.
Yeah,
He's probably non-selfish. Like, if they dish the ball all around, then he shoots the three.
And Aaron Aflalo is a good sixth man for you. He did good with the Knicks.
But no, with this team, he'll probably be a starter.
Yeah, he'll definitely be a starter.
But I think they're dumb as hell, because they actually had Seth Curry, and he was so underrated, didn't get any playing time, and he went off in the summer league. Makes no sense at all. Like, Seth Curry, if you gave him playing time, I guarantee you he would average 15 a game. I really think. But the problem with this team is they have I'm not calling these guys ponies, because I really do think this team is ranked 25 only because of Cousins. Right. Okay, I'm not going to say anything bad about these players, okay, but they do need they need a better point guard.
There is one guy.
If Ty Lawson plays like he did in Denver, there you go. You got a great point guard right there. But if you get the Rockets Lawson or the Pacer Lawson, guess what? You guys played yourself.
There's one guy that also, has an ego, Matt Barnes.
Oh, Matt Barnes! Oh my God! If this team really wants to go places, go ahead. Get a bunch of ego people. If that's what the head office wants, I guess they want over-egoed players. Okay, Sacramento. I was always a fan of this team before, because you know what? It was all about every single player on the court. Jason Williams, PJ. What's his name? Okay, I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
Jason Williams, PJ, Chris Webber. It was about every single player on that team.
Stojakovic.
Yep. It was about every single player on that court.
Even Bibby. Mike Bibby was good.
Every player on that team, it was about. The most unselfish team in basketball history, guys. And I can say that without hesitating. But this team now, because you got Cousins, you guys are just, it's selfish. It's selfish because Cousins wants the ball every second in every game.
How is Cousins and Barnes, both Eagle players, going to get along? Matt Barnes would want the ball, now DeMarcus Cousins would want the ball. They would just be fighting. They wouldn't be passing the ball around at all.
And honestly, guys, if you guys got rid of freaking Cousins, maybe for an elite point guard or like an elite small forward or something.
You had an elite point guard.
Well, actually, they don't need an elite small forward. Rudy Gay's okay.
Donnie, they had Isaiah Thomas as their lead point guard.
And they screwed up. They screwed up. And they should have maybe kept Rondo or something, because he's very unselfish. But you know what? Because of Cousins' ego, Rondo said, bye-bye. Yep. See you later. But this team, I'm looking at this roster, and they have so much potential. It's just Cousins is the dead weight at this point. And that's why, if I was the GM of Sacramento, you have such a great player right there. You know how much players you can get for him, and you know how much assets you can get for him.
I don't think other teams don't want to touch him because of his ego.
There's a lot of teams I think that are interested in him just because of his overall and shit.
This is why it was rumored for Boston, but Boston didn't want to let go.
I'm so glad he didn't go to Boston. If he went to Boston, I would really hate Boston. I have respect for Boston at least because I'm around there. But I'm looking at this team and the record I think that they're gonna have. I'm gonna say at least 27 wins. Because they have Cousins, but he's still dead weight. They're not going to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm just going 1 win up, 30. That's it. 30 wins.
This team, like, it's awful. Willie Cauley-Stein could be a starting center. He really could.
No, this is what I don't understand. They already have DeMarcus Cousins. What does the team itself hate DeMarcus Cousins since they drafted a center, even though they already have DeMarcus Cousins?
I think no. The only reason why because Cousins was threatening to leave that team. Because when Cousins doesn't get what he wants, he has to throw the trade clause in the freaking Sacramento's face. So Sacramento, that's all they're doing in that office is kissing freaking Cousins' ass. They're kissing his fucking ass. I'm sorry for swearing, guys, but you know what? They're kissing his ass, and you know what? It makes me sick. Like anything, if Cousins freaking snaps his finger, yeah, I want to be the point guard to the team. Guess what? They're gonna make that happen.
I actually, you're right because he actually does bring the ball up, and he's a center.
He's selfish. He says, "Give me the ball." You know what they have to do? They have to, when he snaps his finger, give me the ball. They have to give him the ball because if he doesn't get it, guess what? He throws a hissy fit, and you know what? Then guess what? That player leaves that team. It's a shame, guys. Sacramento, you guys are going nowhere, no playoffs. You used to be the most entertaining basketball, and now you went from most entertaining basketball to the most egoed basketball.
Humiliating,
egoed, same shit basketball team. You guys are going nowhere. I'm sorry. Last year you could have made it, but you know what? Because of Cousins, you guys didn't. So, you played yourself. Congratulations. Alright, so if you enjoyed this episode of Rank 'em, splash the like button. If you have not hit the subscribe button yet to become a best one, click that subscribe button now. We are only 50 away, or maybe even more after this video gets uploaded. But we're so close, 200 friggin' subs, and I give you guys a room tour, and we'll do a special. And if you guys want to follow Neil on Twitter, at NeilSportsMind, or if you want to follow me, at Donnie Barnard, all the links are down in the description below. And to all the best ones worldwide, DITB1's taking over. Peace.